And now I'd like to invite Jeffrey Levine, Chairman of Douglaston Development, to join me at the podium to present the second 94th Anniversary Leadership Award to Howard Milstein. I'd like to invite Howard to join us as well. Your printed program today profiles the extensive professional and volunteer accomplishments of Howard Milstein. He leads a family that has been prominent in business and philanthropy for 3 generations. He is a well-known figure in local, national, and global affairs and a trusted advisor on economic, civic, and philanthropic matters. Howard's leadership was demonstrated most recently in his chairmanship of the New York State Thruway Authority, to which he was nominated by Governor Andrew Cuomo in 2011 and unanimously confirmed by the New York State Senate. His private sector experience in construction and large-scale development contributed to a design-build process that saved New York nearly $2 billion from the original cost estimates for rebuilding the Tappan Zee Bridge. And now the bridge is rising in record time, with record savings, and with record efficiencies. Howard did his job and did it brilliantly. Now the state is doing his job, figuring out how to finance its infrastructure needs. Howard Milstein is Chairman, President, and CEO of New York Private Bank and Trust and its operating bank, Immigrant Bank. He chairs and operates all of the Milstein family real estate companies and is active in many other business enterprises. Howard began his career with housing and has spearheaded the Milstein family dynamic efforts on the real estate scene. The Milstein vision has been to invest in large-scale developments that serve to anchor and revive failing neighborhoods, and this has led to impressive new neighborhoods across the city. Among his honors, Howard was named 2008 Entrepreneur of the Year by Cornell University, his alma mater, and has served the Master Builders Award from the Associated Builders and Owners of New York, as well as the Regional Plan Association's Lifetime Achievement in 2013. It is my pleasure to give Howard this much-deserved award. Congratulations.
Well, now that David has told you everything you ever need to know about Howard Milstein, it's my opportunity to not only help give him the recognition, but to tell you more about Howard Milstein. I've had the privilege of knowing Howard for many years. I share many things with Howard, not a listing on the Forbes billionaires list, but more importantly, a birthday, which 2 days from now, May 15th. So I want you all to join his beautiful wife, Abby, and his son, Michael, who I saw in the audience, in wishing a very happy birthday to Howard. And to me. And if I complete his introduction by saying that knowing Howard is a privilege, his public and philanthropic efforts and private efforts were well spoken of. But more important, I can tell you as a recipient of the 94th Leadership Award here at the Building Congress, that he is a perfect recipient. Why? His roots, as you all know, are in construction. His heart is in development, and more important, his money is in banking. So with that, let's all congratulate Howard on his wonderful award and a happy birthday.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Jeff, for those wonderful introductions. I'm honored to receive this award and especially pleased to be introduced by Jeff, who is an accomplished builder, business leader, and philanthropist in our area in his own right. I also want to thank all those in attendance. There are too many to mention, but I especially want to recognize our Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul, and Bill Rudin and the Rudin family, Mike Shama, my chief engineer during my term at the New York State Thruway Authority, John Zuccotti, a hero to all of us, for those who remember how New York City got saved, and a mentor to me through today. John. I also want to mention, as Jeff did, that my wonderful wife Abby is here, and my son Michael is here, representing the next generation of builders in the Milstein family. So, I also thank and recognize the New York Building Congress. Its mission says it all: to serve as a productive forum for those entrusted with building New York City. Entrusted with building, that's a powerful statement of responsibility and enduring commitment to our cherished city, a call to service. The Building Congress was founded 2 years after my grandfather, Morris Milstein, an immigrant from Eastern Europe, launched our first family business, the Circle Floor Company, 100 years ago. Circle grew to dominate its industry and later served as a springboard for my father, Paul, and our family. We moved into real estate development, oil and gas, international businesses, and ultimately banking. As our businesses prospered, we increased our commitment to philanthropy and public service as well. My father, Paul, eventually built or bought, along with our partners, 50,000 apartments, 10,000 hotel rooms, and over 20 million square feet of office space. We became known as long-term investors and leaders in developing emerging neighborhoods, as David mentioned, such as Lincoln Center and Battery Park City. And in banking, a lender to homeowners and small businesses as they pursued their own American dreams. I'm proud to follow in those footsteps as a builder and a businessman. I'm grateful that my grandfather and father instilled in us the importance of giving back, of serving the city, state, and nation that has been so good to us. I was particularly honored when Governor Cuomo appointed me chairman of the New York State Thruway Authority in 2011. During my 4-year tenure, we made dramatic changes, cutting operating costs by $200 million, and implementing a rigorous fiscal stability program to fund capital projects and operating needs while maintaining our credit rating. We also began looking for ways to use technology to create a highway system that is more efficient and less costly. For example, to better understand the condition and safety of our roads, we created the Benchmark Pavement Index, also known affectionately as Bumpy. This is a state-of-the-art computer-driven rating system that ensures that all 570 miles of the thruway system remain in a state of good repair. Planning and prioritization can now be accomplished at the system level rather than in segments, ensuring that necessary maintenance is not being deferred and that capital is distributed where it is needed most. In a project started while I was still chairman, I'm personally funding an initiative at Cornell University to employ nanotechnology to create less costly and more resilient road surfacing that will save taxpayers millions annually in costly road repairs and the perennial inconvenience of seemingly constant construction. Our signature project was the replacement of the aging Tappan Zee Bridge. As you know, the plans for this had been stalled for more than a decade. It seemed to some that a new bridge might never be built. I was honored to take on this massive and important infrastructure project for the people of this state and finally get it moving. To combine private sector thinking and practices with the knowledge and work ethics of the talented professionals already resident at the Thruway Authority. And believe me, there are many talented people in our government. To accelerate the project and deliver real savings to taxpayers, and to go from approval to equipment in the ground in record time. And with the vision and leadership of our governor as our guide, we did exactly what he wanted. The new Tappan Zee Bridge has a number of firsts for New York. It's the largest procurement contract ever signed in state history. It's the first major bridge construction in New York City metropolitan area in nearly 50 years. And it is the first design-build contract in New York State, thanks to the Governor Cuomo's push for design-build legislation 4 years ago. It's quite an accomplishment. The historic procurement process was completed in record time, just 11 months, and saved New Yorkers nearly $2 billion, a 40% savings from federal estimates for a bridge construction of this size. We accomplished this by being innovative and flexible and transforming the RFP process by working collaboratively and transparently with all stakeholders. We applied private sector principles to the public procurement process. The federal government supported these efforts, but nonetheless was amazed by what they considered the jaw-dropping savings in both time and dollars. To give just one example, in what proved to be a game-changing improvement to New York State procurement practices, we met with all the bidders on a regular basis as they prepared their RFP responses to learn what we could to improve the RFP and make the result more efficient and cost-effective. As private sector developers and builders, we knew the people who built bridges for a living knew more about how to build them from firsthand experience. Rely on the experts, learn from them. No one in the Thruway Authority had ever built a bridge of this size, nor any bridge in many decades. The companies bidding on the project build major bridges all the time, all over the world. So it made perfect sense to open the lines of communication in a manner that made everyone's performance better. This is the power of applying private sector thinking to public works. Many observers, including President Obama, believe that the Tappan Zee procurement should serve as a model for the way the country manages its desperately needed infrastructure investments. Nationally, 1 in 9 bridges is structurally deficient. 42% of major highways are congested, and the average age of an American dam is 52 years old. Last night's tragic Amtrak accident outside of Philadelphia is a vivid reminder of how important our infrastructure needs are. Closer to home, it is incumbent on everyone in this room to be part of the process, to work together with government to ensure that our city, state, and nation continue to prosper, compete effectively in the 21st century, and remain the best place in the world to do business. We are the builders. Our nation needs us. If we do that, if we engage our government leaders and policymakers in a manner that applies the best of private sector thinking to confronting New York's and our nation's infrastructure crisis, I believe we can translate the innovative, collaborative, and creative process embodied in the Tappan Zee procurement to infrastructure projects here and throughout the nation. I accept this award humbly on behalf of all the incredibly talented and tirelessly devoted members of our team at the Authority and in other branches of government and the private sector, a team I was privileged to lead. Thank you.